Tonight on America, the Conversation, Andrew and Tim discuss the recent arrest of New York Representative and America's favorite liar, George Santos. Meanwhile, Tim not so subtly shoehorns in a plug for the new America, the Podcast Presents show, I Do Not Trust This Person, The Many Lies of George Santos, which premieres Memorial Day. See, that's how you subtly plug a show. Do better, Timothy. All this and more tonight on America, the Conversation. Hello and welcome to America the Conversation. I am one of your hosts, Tim Philippi, and with me, as always, is Anthony DeVolder. Anthony, how are you today? Nope, that's Andrew. Sorry. Andrew, how are you today?
We often get mixed up. I have one of those
That's
faces.
true. Yeah. Do you have any alternative names, aliases that you would like to?
I'm not going to mention
Rusty
that on this
Shackelford,
podcast.
maybe?
That's not. The answer to that is, do I have ghostwriter names? Yes. Am I going to tell you about it? Not on recording.
You don't want to dox your trolling accounts and all of those things? No. Okay.
I was thinking of the sensual poetry that I've written about.
Oh, the sensual poetry, right.
Also, the fantasy smut that I sell on Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. Well, hopefully we'll publish that someday. But today, while Andrew's smut that he writes is actually real, most of the stuff from the guy we're talking about today is not real. Most of them, as far as the New York Magazine is concerned, the article I'm referencing, like 25 lies, something like that he is told that we just know about. His name is George Santos. You are well aware of him. I'm sure if you're not truly a fan of politics. Is anybody a fan of politics? Should you be a fan of politics?
Yeah. I mean,
a fan?
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
I'm not. It's like a stain on my soul as a human.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
But
So
I am that.
Yeah.
Like I am a fan of politics.
But should we be? Probably not.
That's not a thing that have pride in.
Yeah. No, it's something more of a
I'm
you
ashamed
follow
of
it
that. Yeah.
out of necessity and to prevent world destruction. George. Well, he's not going to get to destroy the world because he just got fucking arrested. He on 13 different counts. Like, I've been following him, and so has Andrew, since when did he come on, like, into mainstream media? Like, when people were noticing, like after November, right? Like even
like during it, like the weeks leading up to it, there's a lot of local like stuff about like, is this guy serious? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot
like
of weird
he's
stuff
look
going
at these
on here.
lies. Okay, so they were talking about a few of the lies up until it happened.
Local stuff. It didn't hit national until after the election.
Okay, so yeah,
if my memory is right. Yeah.
Which we've railed about on this show before. How the hell did the Democrats miss all of this? Yada yada yada. Like they've missed several people, and there's other like just as crazy liars out there.
Like as The Simpsons has done several times. Like there was like an episode in like 93 to 95 to 97, somewhere in there, where they show the Republican and the Democratic national conventions like right after each other is a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like the signs they're holding up is like the Democratic National Convention, like, we can't govern, like, we're always infighting, like, we even hate ourselves. And then it cuts to the Republican National Convention, and it's like, we want the worst for everyone. Like, we're just plain evil.
Yeah.
Like, those are the signs that they're holding. And like, that has only become more true over the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Good jobs and some writers and creators. 30 years is like, the Democratic Party, I don't know. I mean, that's probably the testament to our system is like that. Not only is this man in a position of power, but like that his political enemies and rivals didn't like
Get
catch
him.
any of this shit.
Yeah. Like well, it's not. Maybe it was my theory in general is that it's. I mean, it's well, okay. New York's 3rd is the wealthiest district in New York, like, and in the entire city. So maybe they just expected a Republican to win, and they're like, whatever. Like, they're not. Maybe they didn't want to attack the first gay Republican elected to public office. The first, I don't know if it's the first, but the only Brazilian representation in all of the federal government, as far as I've been able to find. But I just think maybe they didn't view him as a threat. He's a millennial, or maybe it's millennial. I actually forget how old he is. But maybe he just wasn't a threat to them with everything else they had going on. Still, Democrats, get a person on every single district. That's our advice to you. Take it or leave it. You're probably going to leave it because you're a terrible institution. But George, though, arrested.
Fighting for every single district, just as a policy.
Yeah, just as a policy, go with every single district. But George, however, like, I don't think we're gonna have. Well, he's gonna be in the news for a while, because obviously because he's been such a prolific liar, and we have. Well, our producer Alana Montos have a show called "I Do Not Trust This Person" coming out in June, covering every lie of George Santos. You're gonna hear next week the first episode 0, discussing kind of some of the stuff we're discussing today, but more of a what the fuck, because
an audience, we can guarantee 50% better of a podcast because one of the hosts will be upgraded.
Yeah.
So
with Alana Montos, producer of this show, ATP, and so many,
you will have a better host than either one of us. So
that show is just while we're pitching it, is she knows nothing about any of this. She, like, I've made her stay ignorant to all of George's lies for the most part. Mm-hmm. She knows some things that she gets in New York Times alerts, but this is all a surprise to her. And some of them are so crazy, you might have forgotten them. Like,
she is a faceless man, like, in these ways.
Yeah. George.
Yeah, audience, I did make a 2017 Game of Thrones
reference. Oh yeah, faceless.
Fuck you.
Yeah. She knows nothing about the fact that George.
She's Jon Snow.
She knows nothing about.
That's a better reference.
Yeah,
is that better, audience?
Because the faceless man stuff kind of went off the rails and most people forget about. But no, Alana, like, she knows nothing about.
George R. R. Martin forgot about it.
That's true. But Alana knows nothing about the fact that George said that he produced or was on Hannah Montana in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, that he claimed to produce Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which is a failed musical, a historically bad failed musical.
You could like even say I produced Cats for like 2 seasons.
Sure, and that would be fine.
That's a better lie. But you I helped produce the biggest clusterfuck on Broadway in history.
That I think
is like a weird lie. It's a weird flex, man.
Yeah, it's a weird flex of a musical
he does
that
weird
isn't
flexes. He's the king.
Yeah, and he it's like he thinks of a line and just goes, "Oh, I'm just going to say it." Like, this musical lost $60 million. They said in an article I read years ago that the only way they would make their money back, and we mentioned this in the podcast with Alana, is that they would need to sell out every show for the next 10 years to make their money, to even break even. Like that. So again, that's such a stupid thing to lie about and to align yourself with. And then the producers also said, yeah, no, he didn't. Like, and I mean, mixture of everything from, his family saying that he's Jewish, to claiming to be a volleyball star, to ripping off unhoused people whose dogs are dying, to like, listen to it in that show. We're going to get to it all. But instead, for today, I just kind of wanted to talk about the fact that he finally, that the shit caught up to him. I was shocked. I really, truly did not think that this would happen. Like, at least not soon, right? Like, I mean, or is justice finally happening for all these people? Is the Justice Department taking a look at all of these folks and going, you know what, let's finally do something? Or is the evidence just there and it's all obvious lies? I don't know. That's
the third of those 3 options is the most true.
What?
There's just an over-surmounting amount of evidence that shows his corruption and his crimes over the last few years, and the Justice Department has no choice but to prosecute him.
Right.
I don't think the Justice Department is like, well, maybe like the individual like investigator is, but like as an entity, they're not happy that they're going to wind up prosecuting a congressman.
Sure,
but
yeah,
like,
makes people lose
the
faith.
Individual prosecutor is like, hell yeah, I'm going to nail this guy to the wall. But to be honest, like.
Sure.
He's not a billionaire.
No, well,
like,
he may claim to be at some point, but
he's not.
Not.
And I mean, he's not even a 100 millionaire, which at least Donald Trump is that.
He's definitely not.
And I don't mean that as like a compliment to him. I'm saying he can rely on that privilege.
Sure.
To always, he can say whatever he wants, and no matter what happens to him, Like he has the lawyers to defend him.
Yeah.
He has the best lawyers in the country. He has the media to let him do fucking an hour of fucking campaign rally in front of hardcore supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has all these advantages that Anthony DeVolder / George Santos does not have, even though George Santos was trying to pull a similar playbook. I will also say, like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is doing like mail fraud and like stealing puppies
Yeah.
or like stealing money from a veteran who's like disabled, who has a dog that's dying for its medication, like in surgery. Like,
And then the
that's something
dog
he
did die.
And the dog, well, of course, eventually all dogs die, Tim.
Well,
I have
yeah,
a-
no,
I
but
have
this
bad news
dog,
for you.
he kept saying like, "I'll get you the
Lassie,
money for the
dead.
surgery." And
Airbud, dead. Beethoven, dead. All
Yeah,
dead, Tim.
yeah, I know.
Every dog that's in like Homeward Bound, dead.
There's a meme. It's some crying frog and just saying it's him coming to the realization, oh, the animals in Homeward Bound are surely dead by now. Like, oh, they
Absolutely.
are. I guess so, huh? That's sad.
Absolutely.
But no, like, I mean, no, but in this, like, he kept promising
all
him.
the dogs in heaven, all the cats in hell. I don't make the rules. Argue with the good Christian
They made
God.
2
I don't know what
movies
to tell
about
you.
it. I don't know.
Talk to Jesus and Uncle Yahweh about it. I don't know what to tell you.
No, but like, yeah, no, this whole thing with the dog, like with the veteran, like he basically said that he was setting up some animal charity to help this veteran's sick dog, that they were gonna, get it a surgery that it needed, and basically stole the dude's money, and the dog died. Like
the difference is that Donald Trump is a kingpin level villain to make a Marvel pop culture reference, and fucking George Santos is a fucking
calendar man.
Well, no, he doesn't even have a gimmick. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's just like a typical con man.
Yeah,
he just
one of the goons.
managed to pull the best con by getting elected in like recent memory in American history.
Yeah,
like
it truly is.
He truly stumbled into it. Like he's just a con man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a middling con man at that. Like,
with Don, it's like I'm loud, I
Don
say
is a
funny
very
things,
rich
I
con
look
man.
over here as I do it. George was, I'm gonna go under the radar, and no one's gonna notice anything for a long time. Like,
sure.
Like, and no one did, and so much so that like with these charges,
Well, and he told blatant lies.
Yeah, he told blatant lies. I mean, like, again,
Donald Trump can
Spider-Man
muddy the
thing.
waters. Like say there's no proof to that. Like that's
Sure.
all Democrat lies. Andy DeVolder can't say like, well, yeah, I did change my mind. Well, I didn't commit mail fraud. Well, that didn't happen. I am Jewish. Like when he's confronted on those things, all he can say is like,
Like,
yeah.
No,
as
like,
opposed to Donald Trump, who has the charisma, finesse, and again, he's a piece of shit, but he has these traits, y'all, where he can go like, "You're a nasty person. Did you know that? Did you know that? Like, what a liar! Like, hey, folks, like he's a carnival worker. He's a fucking clown stand-up comedian. The problem is he's also a fascist and he's very dangerous.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Well, like with George, one of the things, like, and before we get into his charges, we mentioned earlier, he claimed to be on Hannah Montana and the Disney Channel. He did that at like there's also the story about how he tried to deny that he wanted to be Miss Gay Rio de Janeiro, a drag competition in Brazil, and he claimed to, after that, as an adult, then he was on Hannah Montana. So, like, why would you, as an adult, claim to be on a show about tweens? Like, you're almost as old as Billy Ray Cyrus, I feel. Or he's not, but like, still.
mean, like, it's still a gig. I don't.
It's still a gig, but it's not a real gig.
Like movie theater manager who yells at Hannah Montana, not knowing that she's
sure.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Like, like there's plenty of gigs
that.
like if I'm living in LA and I'm like running dishes on Fridays and Saturdays, and Disney Channel goes, "Hey, we got a show where you have 2 recurring episodes on Hannah Montana, and you get $2,500 a day," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah,
I'm absolutely take that." Like, Usher number 2, but he didn't
I wouldn't lie
it.
about it. Yeah, I wouldn't lie about that.
It's but that's the thing. It's easily Googleable. Like most of these things, like his Baruch College volleyball shit. not true. Again, easily searchable.
Like half the places he claimed to work, he never worked at.
No, like he claimed to work at Goldman Sachs, all this other stuff. So his charges, right? And here's the kicker with all of it. So under the CARES Act, which is what gave everybody their money during COVID, right? Like anybody who needed extra cash for their job or if they got laid off, blah, blah, blah. I got it. You got it. Other people got it. Like
should have been named the We Kind of Care.
We kind of, yeah, because some people got way more than others, especially a lot of Republicans, including George and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Why didn't Shui apply for a loan?
Because at that time I was the only person working here.
We could have got $1 million.
$1 million, yeah.
You could have said, I have a staff of 15 and we make content media online and I am worried I'm going to lose all my staff. And that all would have been true and legal. And then you could have gotten, like, even if it was like $80K.
Sure.
Can you imagine?
Sure. My problem is, and it's this pesky little thing called a conscience, and not to want to be like George Santos, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and LeBron James. I'm pretty sure I might be wrong.
It's almost like that allows all the people who are taking advantage of the system to be horrible people.
Yeah. And that's the case. So here under the CARES Act, George claimed to be unemployed on a weekly basis and collected $24,000 in unemployment. Meanwhile, he was working for an investment firm in Florida.
Get that bread.
Yeah.
I don't even care about that one. I don't even care. If everybody could steal 24 grand from the U.S. Treasury, I would be okay with it. If everybody got to.
The problem is at the same time, other people aren't getting it because of funds not flowing into there, right? So like, he's fucking over poor people, whether it's a trickle down thing, like a Republican, that makes sense. A trickle down.
I'm not actually advocating for this man. Once again, like he's a fucking joke, but I'm just saying like there's some things like, how the fuck did he become a congressman?
I don't know. So anyways, let me finish real quick.
Like this is like Tom Buchanan from The Great Gatsby's district. Like this is like West Egg. That's what it has to be. Like this has to be like people who all dress like they're in the early 1900s who walk around arguing with like Succession characters about where they park. Like who are these people that elected this man?
I don't know. Again, it's the wealthiest district in New York. So like I'm just as dumbfounded. But so
I'm a rich New Yorker.
Yeah.
This George Santos guy seems like the real deal to me.
Maybe it's like all the rich people wanting to feign not to use this meatball Ron term, but like feign wokeness by like, oh, let's get a gay Republican in there, and then our conscience will be totally clean for being Republicans.
Hassan Piker is wrong about this. Everyone in the end becomes a liberal, like in how they want. Like they become a liberal.
Yeah.
Like, well, fine, we're gonna get a gay Republican. What do you think of that? Well, all your policies are pretty anti-gay.
Yeah, anti-gay, like hardcore.
So that's what we think.
You're one Gilead away of putting him on the wall, man.
We got a black one, and we got a gay one, and we got a few Latino ones, and there's even some lady ones.
God.
Now, yes, are 81% of us white men who are rich? Are all of us rich? Yes, that is true.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Philippi, founder of Shui Media and the producer of the show you're enjoying right now. At Shui Media, we produce a lot of content, and due to, capitalism, we need money to keep making that content. And that's where you, the fan, can help out. In the description of this episode, you'll find multiple affiliate links that help out Shui Media and help out you as well. You can also head over to shuimedia.com/affiliates for a full list of the affiliate links that help out Shui, help out you, or maybe even help out one of your friends or family members. And that's it. That's the commercial. Thanks for listening. And now, back to the show. His unemployment. He collected $24,000. Meanwhile, still working at an investment firm in Florida, making $120,000 a year.
Welfare king. I love him.
With that $120,000 a year salary in consideration, and the fact that he stole from unemployment, he also is currently sponsoring a bill to keep something like that from happening. So the hypocrisy is moist, not rich. It's moist with him. George also, and here's the one that's really going to get him. And this is why, like, this is one where, like, dude, you lied about so many things. You're a con man, wire fraud in Brazil. Whatever. You lied to Congress, and it's not like he lied to Congress ahead of time. He lied to Congress with his personal financial disclosure, saying he was making or had a salary of $700,000 a year from the DeVolder organization, his own private company. And that's not true. So he lied on his financial disclosure forms to Congress, which is a big deal. It's a dismissible deal from Congress, and you are go to jail. Then he also said he had millions of dollars in his savings account. Yeah, you are go to jail. Is that what I said? Whatever. But you know what? It makes as much sense as George and all his lies. But
I need to now get a Monopoly orange card with George Santos' face on it. You are now go to jail. Directly to jail. Do not pass go.
But so in addition to his 700 from the DeVolder organization, he also claimed to have millions in savings, and that his company, the DeVolder organization, was paying dividends between $1 and $5 million. So just not so. Again, no, this one isn't easily Googleable. It's easily, searchable within the IRS by somebody, the Justice Department. And because of all this, though, he could face up to 20 years in prison if they get him on all of it. And these may not even be the final charges. Like the thing I mentioned about the dog earlier, that I have a big feeling is going to come back in a big, big way, because that's fraud to a person. And they can prove it. They have the text messages between them, apparently. But to make a deal, he has now he admitted to the wire fraud in Brazil that he's wanted for. And as long as he gets a deal to not go to jail, he will definitely not get elected again. I can tell you that. Whether he can even go, well, one, if he goes to jail, he'll still serve. Kevin McCarthy, and as well as many other Republicans, said they are not going to support his reelection. And some people are out there still trying to support him. George himself even called this whole thing a witch hunt, and did the whole, like, I think yesterday maybe, he tweeted, "But where's Hunter?" I'm like, oh my God, no. It's the laziest deflect at this point, especially because correct me, audience, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the GOP Judiciary Committee just found out that the Biden family, there's nothing out there on them. All this bullshit that they keep yelling about, there's more, maybe not Hunter, but like the Biden crime family bullshit, there's not much there. So that's just another straw man to say, hey, look over here as we gaslight you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Skating. This is the new Benghazi, right?
Like, yeah, it's going to go nowhere.
And throw shit at a wall, and have commissions about it.
Yeah.
So, but plus, also, I don't care what the president's son did. Like, the last president had his son and his daughter working in the White House, negotiating with China while they were getting copyrights in China, while they were doing business in China, and like, and like all sorts of 1,000 other things I could name about his fucking corruption with his family, like working in the White House in general. So don't get me started on fucking Hunter Biden going alpha Chad and like snorting cocaine and being like, yeah, these are my sex worker friends. Like, I don't care. I just don't care.
That's just
like, did he probably
get
jobs because of his name? Absolutely. 100%. Sure. And if there's anything they can find to prosecute him on him, sure, go ahead, Justice Department. I don't give a shit. But also, like, I just don't think it factors in at all to like it shouldn't factor into anyone's opinion on who's the next president is, compared to like when both candidates obviously are shit with their family.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no proof that like Joe Biden did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, is there proof that that Hunter Biden has committed crimes? Several. I mean, I think he's filmed it, but like I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, he
like,
did do that.
like, there's plenty of corruption and crime, and like I don't think that that line of like, I'm the outsider, like I'm not like corrupt Hillary, I don't think it's gonna work. It didn't work in 2020 with the Biden crime family shit. Like, I don't think it'll work now, because I don't think people give a shit about Hunter Biden. Like average.
No, I don't think they do either, and that's why I think this is all just
like they don't give a shit about Don Jr. or Ivanka.
No,
like, it's like whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I personally
like
don't give
kids.
that.
Like, what do you expect?
I don't give that much of a shit that they did what they got their copyrights in China. It's corrupt, sure. It's obvious, sure. We should stop stuff like that from happening, but I care more about the actual things that happen. The like,
Well,
you know
I
what
care
I mean?
more that they're like involved in policy making in the White House, right?
Sure,
Like
I'm
Hunter
not thrilled
Biden's
with
not
that.
like deciding anything.
Yeah,
Like the corruption is one thing if it's like, oh, more rich people doing rich people shit, making
sure.
money for their name. Like there's a lot of people who get hired for their name and all over the world. I don't know what to tell you.
Nepotism's
And
a hell of a drug,
and
everybody.
we should try to address it. Don't get me wrong, but like the fact is like Hunter Biden, what he does in his private life, I just don't give a shit because he doesn't have any effect on the policy that affects voters in the United States.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't. Like, and I don't think like worst case scenario, he's working with China that he could influence Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden listens to Hunter Biden on one thing with policy. I think Joe Biden barely listens to his advisors. He just goes, yeah, okay, next step. I guess we're going into this room. Yeah, listen here, buddy.
Hunter's not a politician. He's a business. He's like he's an investor, VC dude. Like he has no.
They're right about this. He gets hired because he's the president's son.
Yeah,
like,
for
that's
sure.
His job.
That's why Harry Windsor got hired
to a boardroom. Yeah,
he's a prince.
He shows up to a boardroom and he goes, "Hi, I'm Hunter Biden. I endorse this product," and then he leaves and they go, "Here's $250,000, like Mr. Biden." Like which Ivanka Trump does, which every single rich kid in the world does. Like. We're talking about Roman Roy here. We're talking about
he is like, Roman Roy, yeah.
We're talking about Richie Rich. Like, do you think Richie Rich doesn't get a job the moment he leaves like Yale? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Anthony DeVolder is just a C-tier con man who pulled off the greatest con ever, and I kind of gotta respect the game.
Oh, I do too. I honestly
yeah,
I love him. I
he should be in prison and not in power.
Sure, yeah, I love him in prison and not in power. Like, but at the same time, like he's a fascinating. That's why I and Alana wanted to do the show is because he's so fascinating and such probably the most I would say interesting politician in history. Like because of how he got to where he is. He's a gay Republican. He's he is from the richest area in New York. Yeah. He told all these lies, did not get caught. And may actually even get reelected. Like it is possible for him to get reelected. Like I talked to Alana. I don't know if it's in the confines of the show or not, but Rob Ford from Canada. Like he was the mayor of Toronto. He was filmed doing crack. He was with sex workers. I'm pretty sure did a whole bunch of crazy shit. And when they interviewed people about him on the street, other Canadians in Toronto, they're like, "What do you think about all of them?" I'm like, yeah, it's all crazy. I'm like, "Would you reelect him?" And he goes, "They're like, well, yeah." He's actually done it. He's gotten shit done, and he's crazy guy, but he's our crazy guy. And he then unfortunately passed away, but his brother now. Kind of the same guy and looks
they're both right wing nut jobs.
Yeah, they're right wing, but at the same time, people will still vote him in. Like the only difference between him and his brother is his brother didn't do crack that we know of. Like smoke.
He's not proven on camera.
He's not proven on camera with 3 dudes smoking crack in a hotel room, like which is what Rob Ford did. Like may he rest in peace, piss, whatever.
Which was the least problematic thing, in my opinion, that Rob Ford did.
Sure.
Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Once again, like, I don't give a shit if Rob Ford smokes crack. I don't give a shit if Hunter Biden does. Like,
I don't give a shit if George Santos does. Probably might make him even more interesting.
About the vast majority of shit that George Santos did. Like, a lot of it's campaign finance. That's what he's actually going to get nailed on.
It's always the money.
It's going to be the money stuff. But, like, I mean, like... I don't know if he's the most interesting politician in history. There's certainly a lot of interesting politicians.
Sure, they're like interesting, history. Sure, but like maybe not interesting.
He's certainly
like
he's just certainly our generation's like most like wild card, unexpected. Like he's the subplot of 2023, right?
Sure, sure.
Like he's very much the B storyline.
Yeah,
2023.
He definitely is. But at the same time, like I mean, my God, the fact that he lied like this and so stupidly, like it's a unique case that I hope political science teachers will make kids do theses on. He has to have,
and like I'm not a doctor, I can't. And audience never listen to any
liar,
fucking
for sure, yeah.
podcast host who's like, I diagnosed this person. That's ridiculous. Like,
don't do that, podcast host.
You can't diagnose people without talking to them. But this man is a habitual liar. Like,
100%.
I would bet money on that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he can help it. I think that like anytime his brain has like an intrusive thought of like, you could say this and that would impress this person, he says it.
Oh yeah.
And like he can't control it, which is like a thing that most like insecure kids do.
Yeah.
That like you have to teach them. I was one of those kids who would just be like, oh yeah, well, I caught a fish 3 times that big. And like by the time you're like 13, you should be able to be like, yo, stop it. Like all this is doing is like making people hate you.
Yeah.
But he never learned how to stop. Like he's an astronaut and he's a race car driver, and his dad can beat up your dad. And he got a straight 4.0 throughout high school.
Yep.
And like he's the most beautiful man and woman in the world. And like he's the best
president,
looking drag queen. He's
king.
president. He's king.
King
he's
of the
emperor.
moon.
He is the Quasar Harak. Like he's
the Quasar Harak.
Yeah, he is the Worm King, and we should all worship him.
The God King Emperor of Arrakis.
Yeah, because the fact is his holy jihad will cleanse the universe and prepare humanity for our ultimate destiny.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I am not going to be part of that destiny, and I will not witness some of the horrors that mankind is yet to know that are going to be part of that great destiny that we have. But I think that George Santos will be reincarnated into our God Emperor Sandworm King is my point, audience. That's really where I was going with this whole episode.
We also really can't wait for Dune 2. I personally like the miniseries from the 2000s. It gets Dune more or less shot for shot. Or well,
anything
as far as the book
Zendaya
is concerned.
in, like anything.
It's
like,
fantastic.
Count me in.
Love Dune.
Wonderful actor.
Yeah. But yeah, so George...
Timothy Chalamet's all right.
Chalamet, I would have chosen a different. I would have chosen a different
skinny
Paul. I don't know who, but
skinny.
He's
Paul.
too small. He's too
a
small for Paul. Like no offense to Tim. Like I love gotta stand with my Tims.
They
but
can
like,
beef him up. He can do the performance. It's not his acting. Like, they could beef him up. They need to beef him up though. They need to tell him to do whatever.
Yes.
Like whatever horrible diet and like personal trainer that like half the Marvel stars have had to do.
It's just you're a fighter. You're having to go up against the Harkonnen guy who's
maybe
huge.
We'll get Jack Timothy. I don't know what they can do with CGI.
No,
I don't know if he hit it. He could be a good enough actor that he could have gained the muscle and then drop back down.
I think 2 is the last one, so he didn't bulk up. We just got regular old.
By the way, audience, executive producer and director of that movie, George Santos.
Dude, oh my god, yeah, like I'm so glad that that's not the case, because there's so many movies nowadays that where I go back and watch them and it's either produced by Steve Mnuchin or Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, oh, I liked that movie. I still do, like Scream and all those, but fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you're a bad person and you should feel bad.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
But George, though, like I hope he goes to jail. I would love to see a congressman actually serve from prison.
He's going to go to jail.
I know he's going to go to jail. And I think he's going to go away for 20 years. And that's why he freaked out and like admitted to the Brazil thing, which is hilarious.
I think he'll make a deal. I don't know if he'll be there.
Well, I know he's going to try. He is trying to make a deal. I don't think they're going to take it, because why? If you got him dead to rights, like you're going to get him on one charge of check fraud in Brazil. It's not. It's $700 in check fraud at that. So it's like nothing.
You just asked me why, if it's an open and shut case, they won't take it to trial and just claim him guilty when they could offer him a deal. If I look at you as the DM and I go, behind this door, there is a 1 in 20 chance you instantly die and a 1 in 20 chance you get infinite money in the game.
Sure.
I want you to go ahead and roll a disadvantage for me.
Yeah.
4 times. Like that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Like the attorney, yes, is most likely going to win a district attorney, but why even take the risk when you could be like, hey, instead of us sending you away for 35 years, if you take this deal, you'll be in prison for 4 or 5 years, 2.5 with good behavior, and then we're going to slap an ankle monitor on you for the next 10 years, and you can never run for office again. And he goes, okay.
Yeah, no, I would take that deal too if I were him. My wonder is like, I mean, dude, it's just so much. Like, I mean, especially like
trials are expensive and like time consuming. Like they can move on to another case. Like if
that's true. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Why this shit
like
doesn't,
they're always going to offer you a deal unless like you're Walter White, you know, if you've committed multiple murders or like caused a plane crash or like a terrorist. Kind of you're just going to go to trial and get found guilty. But like 90% of the crimes, they're going to be like, hey, here's a deal if you want. They're at least going to offer. It doesn't mean they're scared to go to trial, but they're like, here, take the deal and we can move on to the next thing. Like I got a load of casework on my desk.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, maybe that is what we're going to see, and this won't last throughout the summer like I want it to. Like I didn't get with the Fox defamation, but
I mean,
hopefully we'll get with the Smartmatic defamation
yeah.
suit.
I mean,
Oh.
like, we'll see. His ego could prevent him from thinking.
And that's what I'm wondering too. He has got a fucking ego on him. Like, we're not going to put the clip in this because we're going to put
This is the first time he's had to face consequences. I would too. Like, if every time I lied, I just kept leveling up.
Right. Yeah. So, you can listen to the clip in the next episode in this feed, which is the sneak peek at I Don't Trust This Person. But it's him. It's him calling it all a witch hunt outside the courthouse, addressing reporters, being very aggravated and confrontational, and then getting booed. And on top of that, and it's pretty amazing. CBS has the clip. Every news organization has a clip. Just type George Santos getting booed in front of courthouse. You'll definitely find it. If you don't want to wait till next week. But he, defiant as ever, and is just unfazed by all of this. It's so insane.
Tim, you like posting like lib tier meme things. Like, you should make a meme of him talking about that, calling a witch hat, and then just edit in Princess Bride's boo, which
boo,
boo, you gave up on true love.
Yeah, look for that on our feed. I may actually do that. That's hilarious.
Boo. I love that
man,
movie, that book.
I love the Princess Bride too.
I'm gonna go cry and read the Princess Bride audience.
Is it a book?
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
Is it like is it the same as the movie, or is it just like the Princess Bride part of the movie?
It's mostly the same.
Oh, okay.
There's more detail in it. Like you get inside the characters' heads more.
Oh shoot! I just thought it was the movie. I thought they made it up.
It's funny.
It's
like it's like half the jokes in the movie are from the book.
Oh wow! Yeah, the marriage.
Or maybe the book was written after. I don't know, audience. Correct me on that. You correct me on all the sad things that you're wrong about. And I want you to correct me on the Princess Bride.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I don't want you to correct me at all. I want you to
listen to everything I say. Just like, I think it's called fascism.
Consider
at that point.
Consider what I'm saying.
Consider what I'm saying. Yeah, it's well, one, I think Rob Reiner's granddaughter said she wanted a book about a princess and a bride, and that's where the concept came up. But whether the book came
funny
first,
as shit. The book is great.
Yeah, the book is. I've got to read it.
I've read it 3 times. It's amazing.
Wow. Damn, I need to find this book. All right, well, that's basically it, everyone. Stay tuned next week for the premiere sneak peek, whatever, of I Don't Trust This Person, The Many Lies of Representative George Santos. Re-listen to this if you want to, and all the other episodes of this show. And we're going to be back actually in 2 weeks, and we're going to be on video after that. You can listen to us on the regular podcast feed, or you can go to the America the Podcast Presents YouTube page, where you can find us there, as well as any other ATP Presents show, and see our beautiful faces. Andrew's beautiful face, mine, objectively, it's fine. I'm Irish.
Want a peanut?
We're both Irish. Yeah. I'm not Andre the Giant. Rest in peace, that beautiful man. But
dude, he was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Andre could take me to bed at any time.
Man, he was a cool dude. Helped raise Dwayne Johnson, believe it or not. But it was like his family friend growing up. It's crazy.
All right, Republican Party, hire me. Here's my pitch: 2028, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a moderate Republican.
I'm telling you, 2032, it's gonna happen. I will bet you $100 that he will at least.
I need to move to Ireland, and Ireland needs to leave the UK.
Oh, they're almost there. Come on, 24. Come on, Star Trek.
Come out, ye black and tans, come and fight me like a man. That's all I can sing.
Oh, okay. You know what? We're not going to get out of here. We're just going to do like George Santos. I'm going to tell you that we're going to keep going for another 5 hours. America the Conversation is a production of Shway Media and America the Podcast. The show was created and is hosted by Andrew Turner and Tim Philippi. The show is mixed and edited by Tim Philippi at Shway Media Studios in Austin, Texas. The show's theme song is by Timmy Two Step. For more information, please visit americatheconversation.com and shwaymedia.com. Thanks for listening.
This has been a production of Shway Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.